here we go. A little breakdown video for you guys from a 2025 Area 8, stage number 10. So I had a chance to get a buddy's video, Mr. David Wampler, and he did a little breakdown on our video. So I kind of wanted to talk about the same video because I see some things that are a little bit different than others. And I kind of want to talk about where our biggest, honestly, both of us made the biggest mistake was in the front. But I'm going to play the entire video so you can see the whole stage. And then I'm going to just kind of break down one section. And surprise, surprise, it's going to be about footwork. Here we go. So before I move on and actually break down the section, I'm going to flip it over to first person so you can kind of watch that as well. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to rewind it here just for a quick second, and I'm going to show you exactly where the mistake came from. So right here is the main zone or the main section where David and I both made the same exact mistake. We both missed this piece of steel right here on the right-hand side. He missed the same one. It was the activator steel coming in. He was a little more patient than I was. I tried to shoot it on the exit before I had my gun on the target, which created me to cross my feet. And he did exactly the same thing, but his was on his entry. So let's kind of talk about a little bit about exactly why and how this actually cost both of us huge amounts of points in time because of makeup shots. I ended up taking 4 makeup shots. I think he ended up moving on and transitioning to the next set of targets and then had to transition back, which basically cost them almost the same amount of time. I was just a little bit faster, and I think I was a little bit faster because of the swinger. I was a little bit more aggressive on the swinger, and he had to wait on the swinger, and that was really the difference in our time. But we both made mistakes on the same exact target, so I figured this would be a perfect example of kind of showing how it is. And you're going to be amazed. Well, maybe not, since if you follow me, you won't be amazed, but it all comes from the footwork, and here's how the mistake happens. All right, so I'm going to play through this, and then I'm going to stop it, and you're going to get a third-person view of the miss. Here we go. So right here is my miss, all right? And you can kind of see I'm moving on this target, and I don't actually hit this because I never got on the target before I left, and you're going to see why. So right there's my miss. All right, so I'm going to flip over to third person here. So I'm going to go to the third person for myself, and you're going to see right here is where the miss comes from. So right now I have my sights on the steel. I'm ready to shoot, but I miss because of this movement right here. So crossing my feet. Now you're going to see this when I cross my feet. You're going to see where the bullet lands. You ready? So I'm on the steel. I'm ready to shoot. I'm really locked in visually in this match. I'm really good at calling my sights on this match. And then I pull the trigger. So what would make me miss? And you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but right here on the left-hand side is where the bullet lands. So if you watch in my third-person view again, let me block that back out, you're going to see as soon as I take that step, bang, that's when the shot gets yanked off the target right there. So when I make that step, what happens is my hips are throwing my upper body to the left, as well as, and it's if you've ever done any kind of footwork and paid attention just to walking forward, if you're up on your toes, the gun's going to bounce all over the place. Well, I'm up on my toes here. All right, so let's go over to David's shot here, and let's see his miss. His was a little bit later than mine, only because he was patient and didn't try to shoot it on the move. That's where I made my mistake, is I should have just been patient, ran to that corner, and shot the position instead of trying to shoot that steel on the move on the exit. So David's on the left here. Let me get out of this third-person view here. And you're going to see him. He's going to take his shot right here, right? So right now, his gun's just a little bit late for me. I would want my gun up just a hair earlier than that. But if you watch what happens in his third or his first-person view here, you're going to see, sorry, got to switch it around here. All right, you're going to see, here comes the foot cross. Ready? Right there. And that shift of weight is where the miss comes from. Okay, so let me get over to the third person again, or his hat cam, so you can see it. So right there's where the shot goes off. Boom. And if you watch his footwork, that miss is from this shift. So what happened is he was on the steel, he had the shot, and he actually hit the activator cable, like the carabiner that holds the cable, or the bolt that holds the cable to that piece of steel. He actually missed it. So what ended up happening is he was on the center of the steel. He called a great shot, but by the time he responded, which is what, this is how you make a miss, is by the time he responded, his body had already moved him off of that piece of steel. Again, if you just watch the shift in his footwork, it's exactly the same thing I did, the same movement, the same everything. So right now the shot is off. And if you look at his footwork, he's in a full, complete cross. Now, his view of this camera is actually a little bit easier to kind of see what I've been talking about when you cross your feet. If you look at his holster and his left hip, everything is facing this left target on his left shoulder. So this target above his shoulder is the actual way the body wants to point the gun, because when you shoot the gun, you want to stay square to the target. And that's the most accurate you'll ever be, is because your fundamentals start from being square to a target. As soon as you start crossing your feet, it throws your lower body to the left, which your upper body wants to go with. And so as soon as you enter, when you cross your feet like this is what bounces the gun. Now you can really see it here. I'm going to try to get back to his hat cam. You can kind of see the extra movement in the cross. You see how that gun's kind of going up and now it's going to the left? This is where you're going to start to see the gun movement happen from the footwork alone. So let me go back to a little bit to my shot, and I want you to watch the gun here. So you see how that gun dips as I'm transitioning? Watch the gun as it goes up and down on the right video here. You see that up and down movement? That's from crossing the feet, right? That's from crossing your feet. Every time you do that, and I'm going to go back to my third person here. Every time you cross your feet, the gun wants to go up and down. It's going to go down in a big, giant U shape and then come back up. And then the reason you miss is because you see the flash of red, you see the red on there, but you don't feel that small movement while you're crossing your feet. That's where the misses come from. And again, I'll run this first person here just so you can kind of see the entire array of this section. So as we both come out of the reload, you're going to see the difference in the two runs. Watch. That's all it took, was one single step for me to have 4 makeup shots and for him to have makeup shots as well, that actually just throws off all of your timing. So let's see how many makeup shots he actually had. So 1, he goes for the steal. So that's the other thing. This whole thing sets him up to be out of position, all because of that one miss. It ends up throwing him to the left a little bit farther than he wants to be. And then he has to come back for the steal to shoot it. That's the difference between a killer run and a giant mistake on a stage. Now, again, all because I didn't focus on my footwork is why that piece of steel was missed. And when you don't think about what the footwork does to the gun, you end up with results like this, with multiple makeup shots, and then you have to try to shoot your gun faster than you really want to. All right, if you got any questions, hit me up in those comments, and I'll see you on the range.